Once I went to the coach station to collect some books which had been sent to me from Bucharest, but I got the time of the bus mixed up and arrived an hour earlier. Instead of walking to and fro, I decided to sit on a bench. It was very cold, so I pulled up the hood to keep me warm and also to hide myself from the gazes of the passers-by, who, whenever they see a priest, start to whistle or laugh or want to give him alms. I am not a shy person, but sometimes these things can become tiresome. A man drew near me, and before he said anything, I felt a strong smell of wine coming from his direction, which pulled my wandering mind back into the present. "Father, can I sit down?" He spoke in Russian. "Sure, go ahead," I said. He was leaning on a stick and sat beside me with difficulty. Then he added, "Can I ask you something?" I was expecting to hear the same old story about the fire which burned his house down, the motherless kids he was raising, and that he needed some money to get back home. I thought I had only $2 for my trip back, and if I had given him one, I would not have had enough to buy the return ticket. In short, I found myself in an awkward situation, so I decided not to give him anything. "Father, what should I do to be saved?" were his first words. This question made me feel as if I had been slapped by God. I knew this kind of discussions occur only in patericons, not at the coach station in Chisinau, where people usually talk about totally different things. "Forgive everyone from your heart." "I forgive them." "And do not slander anyone." He pondered shortly, then added, "I don't slander anyone." "If you do that, you can be saved," I said, and for a moment I thought that he might not have known what he was saying. "Also, you must believe in God," I continued. "I do," he replied. A formal conversation followed, and I had to answer whether we should observe the Lord's Day on Saturday or not, whether God is one or three, whether icons are idols, and other things like those in Protestant magazines one can find on benches in parks. The conversation got heated when I said that God often changes his decisions. "That is not true. God is not a hypocrite. He cannot go against his word," he said in an attempt to defend God. "But he does. Remember what God said during the time of Noah. God regretted that he had made man and said, 'I will wipe from the face of the earth the human race.' Later he changed his mind and decided to let Noah and his family to continue the human race. God changes his decisions. He is not proud and stubborn like people. He will do anything to win our love." Suddenly, that man sitting beside me, whom I had mistaken for a drunk beggar who was in a talkative mood, became lively. I could read on his face a pain and joy I was familiar with. His eyes filled with tears, and he said, "You are right, you know. God is love," he went on, and I could see these were the only words he liked to utter. "I know God is love, and I know he is." He slapped his left knee and said, "See this? It's gone." Then, slapping his other leg, he added, "It should have been gone too." It was then that I realized he was missing one leg. I was counted among the dead, but I am alive. I fought in Afghanistan, and I know God is. He was too old to have been in Afghanistan. I thought he might have been an officer even if he didn't look like one. Or maybe his suffering and addiction had made him grow old faster. I went to Afghanistan when the war started. I resisted for 6 years, then I got hit. I stepped on a field mine. I woke up at the hospital. I saw the chief doctor, a colonel. pointing with his finger. "Take this one over there, you know, to be buried." One of my legs was missing, the other was barely hanging, and I was broken into pieces. At that moment I prayed to God, because I didn't believe in God. And I said, "If you exist, help me to sit up." Then I felt a power inside of me. God gave me power. God gave me His power, and I was able to sit up. The colonel stared at me and asked me, "What are you doing? I said you should go over there, didn't I?" "I am not going over there," I answered. "Neither will you. Nobody has to go over there." "Well, but you... How were you able to sit up?" "God helped me." "What God? You need to see a psychiatrist. You seem to have forgotten what Darwin said." "I know what Darwin said, but you said I should be sent over there, and God didn't let me go over there." "What God? What are you talking about? Where is God?" "What do you mean, where is God? God is here." "Where?" "God is here and here. God is everywhere." "You know, Father," he said confidently, "God exists, and He is love. I know He loves me, but what He loves me for, I don't know. I'm a drunkard, and what else should I say? I am the dirtiest man in the world, but I do believe He loves me because I am His, and He loves everyone like this. Do you know what God is love means? He never says, do this or that. He doesn't dare to say anything, because He loves us. He only looks at me and says, "Tolia, it is not good to roll around in the mud. Come, stand up, please, stand up. Look, I will help you to stand up." I stand up for a short time, then I fall again, but God never ceases to love me. I can feel that, and I'm so ashamed. You see, today I asked God for something, and He heard me and fulfilled my request. God believed me. Can you understand that? God believed me. I thought for the 1,000th time that in some cases God's love scandalizes us. Many times we surprise ourselves thinking that it is not fair that God should love just anybody beyond measure, thus breaking rules and not acting according to what we imagine love is. My bus had pulled into the station for half an hour and I nearly missed it. I stood up and thanked my new friend for having taught me something about God. We hugged each other dispassionately and, without exchanging addresses, promised to never forget each other.